and I got into the car to take me to the appointment, and that's when it really sunk in. This medication isn't doing anything for me, and I am extremely conscious. Do you have any chloroform? Apparently, Valium's supposed to relax you enough so that you're awake, but don't really care what's happening. But by the time the dentist was calling me back to the chair, my nerves were still going haywire. Proof of consciousness. I desperately asked the dentist if I could take another one because one pill wasn't doing enough for me, but she said I'll be fine. Okay. They leaned me back in the chair, put that mouth opener thing in my mouth, put sunglasses on me so I don't hurt my sensitive little eyes, and put the first needle into my mouth. And that's when I couldn't hold it anymore. Fear was overwhelming me the entire day, but that was the moment it really got me. Tears burst down my face, and I was trying desperately not to make that annoying noise when you're trying not to cry too hard, but you need to breathe, but you breathe too much. I kept apologizing because I knew physically I was fine. There wasn't any pain I couldn't tolerate. They hadn't really done anything yet, and I was being irrational. But just the idea that I was awake and present was so intense and I couldn't handle it. I didn't do that, but I wanted to. I was able to compose myself after a few minutes and they kept going, but the sounds of them sawing my tooth in half and yanking it out of my gums, and God knows what else, probably just playing tic-tac-toe with needles in there for the heck of it, was horrifying. I'm not scared of much and I'm relatively reasonable for the most part, so it was really surprising and eye-opening to feel genuine, uncontrollable fear. Like, my head told me things were okay, but my body was freaking out. And then my head was like, dude, chill. And then my body was like... All in all, everything went well, and I was able to go home after they finished up a few hours later. Since I wasn't drugged up and just super numb, I didn't have much recovery to deal with other than swelling, and I kinda just chilled for the rest of the day watching YouTube videos. The dentist even told me I can eat normal food and wasn't restricted to just soup as long as I was careful. I ordered a smoothie bowl to my house, and when I opened the door to take it from the guy, I didn't realize until afterwards I had blood dripping out of my mouth, so luckily he didn't call the police. I was trying with 100% focus to not bite my tongue because I couldn't feel it at all in my mouth and was at high risk for just biting a chunk of it off without knowing. The smoothie bowl had sliced strawberries on top, and you don't realize how much sliced strawberries resemble the texture and sound of biting into a tongue until you don't know where your tongue is in your mouth and also can't feel anything. Was that my tongue? If I had to get my wisdom teeth out again, I highly doubt I'd be this freaked out about it. The hardest part was just not knowing what was going to happen and not being able to brace for it. But afterwards it was like, that wasn't too bad. But also thank the holy merciful gods that I don't need to do that again. So I've got an update. I think I've just been going to a not great dentist. I originally went to them for a retainer and they were like, this is the place that did my wisdom teeth, by the way. So I went to them for a new retainer and they were like, oh, we can straighten your teeth a bit first with Invisalign. And I was like, well, all right, sure. My teeth are already pretty straight because of the braces, but I was like, sure, whatever. They said it'll be done in 6 months. 6 months pass and none of my teeth align right when I bite down anymore, and it's extremely uncomfortable. Then they were like, let's file your teeth down to line up again. And 10 minutes of teeth shaving later, they're like, it's not working, let's get more Invisalign. And I was like, and when I mentioned being unsure about things now, they were like, it's normal for Invisalign to last for 2 years. And I was like, 2 years? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about 2 years. Also, I didn't even have braces for 2 years when my teeth were actually janked. So yeah, I'm not going there anymore. Follow your dreams, kids.
Pain or no pain, your wisdom teeth should be checked every year. Some wisdom teeth can become impacted by never breaking through the gum, which can lead to cysts, tooth decay, and gum disease. Find a surgeon near you for a complete examination at myoms.org.
Do you want to join soccer? Not really. My mom had me in physical activities before I was even able to comprehend the idea of free will. But that's not anything I'm complaining about. I really enjoyed most of them, and it got me being active really early in life. If mom didn't do that, I definitely would have just sat on the floor of my room and played with a light bright for 15 years. When I was 4, my mom was like, "Alright, up and at 'em, future diva. Time to get those feet a-tapping." Since I was so young, I really don't remember anything about dance classes. I know we had a tumbling part where we would spin around or do somersaults. And I think there was a giant foam cheese wheel I would run full speed into. I don't know what that was all about. I also have this distinct memory that when I was on my way to class, I was chewing gum in the back seat, and for some stupid reason, I took it out of my mouth and started playing with it, except it started sticking to my fingers the more I tried to get it off, and by the time mom opened the door to let me out, one dance recital, I was doing this routine with other girls in front of the parents. I was in the center like the little queen I was, and apparently in the middle of the performance, the girl on the left froze up and stopped dancing. "Megan, I swear to God, if you ruin my big moment, I'll put gum in your hair." I guess it wasn't that big of a deal, but there was a part where we had to start shuffling to the side, and she still wouldn't move. So what did I do to continue the show? I grabbed her tiny 4-year-old hand. We looked at each other, I nodded, and her eyes lit up with determination. We danced in sync for the rest of the show, hitting every step perfectly, and got a standing ovation from all the parents as we were showered by flowers. Just kidding, I started pushing her as I was dancing because she was in my way. After blowing it out of the water and becoming too good at dance with gum webs and shoving away the competition, I dropped it and started cheerleading. And I don't remember anything about that era at all. My parents could be like, "No, you never did cheerleading." And I'd be like, "Yeah, okay." One time getting out of my dad's car to go to practice, I slammed the door onto my thumb and was like, "Dad!" And that's it, that's all I got for you. It doesn't have anything to do with cheer at all. But here's a picture of me doing some cheer thing for proof I did it. And also, here's my thumb. Yes, I still have it. Next up was gymnastics. That was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Not because we were doing a bunch of crazy flips and spinning around bars. Nah, I was just a freaking pussycat. I was so bad at everything. I was the first to fall over with the wall handstands. I couldn't do a single pull-up. Still can't. I didn't know why people kept yelling, "Stick it" at me. Yeah, stick it to the man. I was so wimpy and bad, I was the kid the coaches had to pull aside during practice and be worked on one-on-one. While everyone else was having fun in the foam pit, I was taken off to the side to work on not being a failure. Jaden, lean back. I'm spotting you. We're gonna do a back bend. No, I can't do it! Just lean back. My arm is right here. Never! I have no reason to trust you! Stick it to the man. I didn't spit in anyone's face. But I was never able to do a back bend because I trusted no one and thought I'd just fall over and die. I was a woke 6-year-old. Already knew not to trust anyone but myself. Aren't you the one who slammed your own thumb into a car door? And then one time, I was at a friend's house jumping on her trampoline, and I landed on my knees weird and somehow spun it into an excuse to stop gymnastics. Yay, quitting! Not a prodigy-born gymnast? Well, alright then, how about soccer? I played soccer for a long time, just like everyone else has, and actually really enjoyed it for a while. My first team was called the Pink Panthers, because our uniforms were hot pink. I was the nerd of the team that kept a stuffed animal Pink Panther in my soccer bag for good luck. It didn't work, we sucked butt. But it was still a lot of fun. Coincidentally, one time we played against another team that was also pink. They were called the Pink Panthers. Alright, Pink Panthers, we've got a big game this weekend against the Pink Panthers. Well, it sounds like we win either way. All the parents would be trying to cheer for us, but it was pretty confusing because it would just turn into, "Go Pink Panther, go hot Pink Panthers. Come on, light Pink Panthers, you got this. Don't pass it to the other team, that's your own goal." Whatever. I ended up not liking soccer after a while because everyone was getting more and more intense about it. Freaking destroy them, Amelia! Kick their shins! Yellow cards are just warnings! How about we just have fun, guys? I couldn't keep up with the burning hunger for victory everyone else started developing, and I started getting really scared. Whenever there was a one-on-one charge to the ball, I would run at full speed to look like I was dedicated and wanted to win. But at the last second, I just run past him because I didn't want to get plowed or kicked in the face. And then I kept running and ran all the way home. Call me selfish, but I wasn't taking a soccer ball to the face for this madness. I wasn't that devoted to the team. Like, I don't mind losing. During soccer, I also tried karate for a couple years, and enjoyed that too. Until it started getting more extreme and everyone was gaining an undying thirst for intensity again. Hey, this is kind of fun. There isn't much to say here. I enjoyed it for a long time. My brother and I were in the classes together. That was some fun sibling bonding time. Yeah! We participated in little tournaments where we would perform our forms and spar each other. Sometimes we would have to perform forms to music, and it was like a little dance recital, except without any 4-year-olds that needed to be shoved off the stage. And I'm not gonna show any footage of those tournaments because it's very embarrassing, and I don't need that on the internet. Finally, in 6th grade, I dropped everything and started up tennis, which was the first sport I actually got the hang of and loved. I even joined the high school team, which was cool. One time when we were practicing after school, the guys' track team was doing warm-ups by the courts, so they were all lined up behind the fence in the sitting area. It was pretty chilled. We were doing our own thing and stuff, but every once in a while, one of them would make a stupid comment like, "Yeah, you go girls. Come on, hit it harder." No one took note of them because they were just pesky boys and we were too busy kicking butt. But at one point, I smacked the ball hard enough that it bounced and stuck right into the fence where one of their faces were. I don't like showing off in front of guys or people or anything. That's not at all my thing. I can be attracted to all genders, which is normal and not a big deal, and would still rather just stand in a dark corner and not draw attention to myself and be invisible. But the shock on his face and the fact he stumbled back a bit out of surprise, freaking hell yeah. That made me feel like All Might for a sec there, with his sassy attitude and taking no bull from anyone. Haha! I am here! Little side story. Tennis practice in the Arizona summers were frickin' brutal. It would be 116 degrees outside and we would be playing for 3 hours. There were points where people would be in the middle of a match, go off to the side to throw up, and then get right back into playing. Blech. 15 love? And that's it. That's all the sports I've been involved in during my lifetime so far. I'm glad I have all those experiences because I feel like they gave me a lot of spice and variety to my life during those times. It's really important for your health.
So if you're new here, hi. I've done this before. Last year I made a video about my first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke, and the game I played in it was Pokemon Ruby. It was fun, so here I am again, doing another. But this time I attempted to Nuzlocke Pokemon Platinum. I'll explain again super quickly how a Nuzlocke works. You can only catch the first Pokemon you run into per route. If a Pokemon faints, it dies and you can't use it anymore. And you have to nickname your Pokemon so you grow more attached to them. If you still don't understand, that's not my problem. Let's get started. Hoo boy. This was my Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. Pokemon! So my friend and neighbor Barry is practically dragging me all over the place with his hyperactive squirrel brain, frantically trying to get a Pokemon as soon as possible from this Professor Rowan he saw on TV. He drags me out to Route 201 and is about to leap into the tall grass when, hold it! You guys know going into the tall grass is practically a death wish, right? What you're doing is basically suicide. Borderline insanity. What absolute moronic lunatics you are. Have you no respect for your lives? Do you have any Pokemon? No. Do you want some? And like that, I have a Turtwig. I named him Turt and immediately used him to bash in Barry's Chimchar. I was making my way through the routes, but right as I was about to nab the Shinx I found on 202.
Don't kill it. No!
So no Shinx for us. But that's alright, Shinx isn't that great this early anyway. Then I locked eyes with our first trainer. The first battle. Let's see how we fare against youngster Tristan and his level 5 Starly.
Oh my god!
So in the first trainer battle I ever fought, I almost immediately lose my starter to a critical hit. Why do I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this? Nevertheless, we kept going onward through Jubilife City, where we caught Kronk the Zubat in the cave above Route 204, and Magikarp on 218. Hi, Magikarp. Your name is Puppy. Just outside the city, Barry runs up and demands another battle, so I happily bash in his Chimchar again. And his Starly too. I kept on my way, eventually arriving in Orberg City, and nervously challenged Rourke. I was terrified of his Cranidos, but Turt landed a crit Razor Leaf and one-shot it before it could even do anything. So that's badge number 1 for us. I made it to Floroma Town and was really excited because if you didn't know, outside the Valley Windworks you can find Shellos. And if you didn't know, again, I love Shellos. I ran straight to the grass to get my Shellos encounter, and I'm not gonna pass up an encounter, so I very depressingly caught the Shinx and named it Failure to vent my sadness and frustration over not getting a slug. While there, we found Team Galactic messing around, stealing electricity, and this little girl's dad. So I beat up the grunt guarding the door, broke in, beat up the grunts in the building until Turt evolved, then found Galactic Commander Mars at the end of the corridor, who I was scared of because she's got a fat cat that hits like a semi-truck. But I had a plan. Back in the Orberg Mines, I caught Dwayne the Onyx, and I brought him to the fight because in case things got dicey, I would switch him in to buy time and heal up my other Pokemon. Basically, Dwayne was death fodder. Turt took out Mars' Zubat, and when Purugly came out, Kronk plucked off the Oranberry it was holding. But she got hit pretty hard in the process, and since Turt needed a bit of healing before he could get back into it,
Dwayne can take a scratch. Look at that. Dwayne is fine. He's fine, guys. Don't pull the sad nose for Dwayne. Dwayne's fine. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Oh my god! Dude! Alright, I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Dwayne gets to live.
somehow, when Dwayne was supposed to die, he hung in there on 1 HP. And you know what? I respected the hell out of him for it. I let Dwayne live, and Turt was able to take out the Purugly. What a legend. But then I put him back in the box and moved on. In Mount Coronet, I caught a Bronzor named Big Boy, which I happily added to the team. And right before Gardenia's gym, Kronk evolved, which meant no mercy for those flower ladies. Badge number 2. We slashed the guard bushes in front of the Galactic building and ran up all the stairs where we fought Galactic Commander Jupiter. Let's take a look at how that went.
Don't crit. Don't crit, don't crit. No! But, I mean, that won't do... Let's just hit it. Don't crit him. No. Oh my god.
We finally were able to beat her, but that fight really knocked the wind out of me. I was shaking on my way back to the Pokemon Center when this lady Cynthia shows up and is like, "Egg? Yeah." Anyway, even meeting Cynthia wasn't enough to calm my nerves, so to keep my mind off the absolute tragedy we narrowly avoided, I decided to start training up Big Boy on Cycling Road. And then he died.
I've practiced this game and...
So before you push up your anime glasses and tell me that steel is weak to fire, which I know, by the way, the reason I kept Big Boy in was because not only is his defense an iron wall, but he had heat proof, which negates his fire weakness. But then he got crit. So, first death. I'm sorry, Big Boy. You never had the opportunity to become a big boy. I walked into Wayward Cave and found a Gible. Gible is an amazing Pokemon. It turns into Garchomp, which is easily one of, if not the strongest Pokemon in the game that isn't a legendary. Adding it to the team would give us such a huge advantage, and now there is nothing in my way between that and... And we're moving on. We arrived in Hearthome City where I caught DeVito the Ralts, Kronk and Puppy evolved, we had a clean win against Fantina, and some lady gave us an Eevee I named Milk. Things were starting to look better now. I was leveling up DeVito against trainers, and when fighting this lovey-dovey couple...
let's go into Puppy. Get rid of the Buizel. Oh no! You're kidding. You're kidding.
And that's why I hate love. In came Shrimp the Scyther I caught on Route 210. Some good news, on Route 213, I finally found a Shellos. I named it Squoop, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite child, but Squoop was my favorite child, and I wasn't apologetic about it. I trained it up, and now we got a Gastrodon. Turt ended up evolving too, so together with Kronk and Squoop, Maylene was defeated, and badge number 4 was secured. Outside of Pastoria City, I caught a Quagsire named Lol, but when I went to get my Great Marsh encounter, I was trying to get a Yanma and accidentally threw a ball at a Wooper. So now we've got LOL and Oops in the box. Then I swept Crasher Wake with Milk, who is now a Jolteon, with the TM Thunder I bought literally next door. I walked out of the gym and Team Galactic set off a bomb. I ran down the grunt who detonated it and took him out because he is weak. Cynthia appears again and tells me to bring a charm to her grandma. So I'm like, yes ma'am. We found her in Celestial Town along with Cyrus, the leader of Team Galactic, who starts some evil Shakespeare speech about how everything is imperfect, so he's gotta blow up the world or something. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. And then he wanted to fight. Puppy took out his Sneasel and I sent out Milk to take care of his Golbat, but Milk decided he wanted to be lazy and not only miss all his thunders, but also punch himself in the face. Milk! You can't be doing this. Kronk came out and killed the Golbat because Milk was being difficult, but I gave him a second chance and he took out the Murkrow. Anyway, here's your dusty charm. I went out and caught a Magnemite named C, then arrived in Canalave City where we barged into Byron's gym and demolished his team with Swoop and Turd. Then Team Galactic sets off another bomb, this time at Lake Valor. So Barry, Professor Rowan's assistant Lucas, and I split up to check on the lakes. As I'm strolling past all the flopping Magikarp, I run into Galactic Commander Saturn, who we swept the floor with. After that, we headed over to Lake Verity where we did the exact same with Mars. There was a part where Turd got crit and almost died. Oh god. Oh god. But we're fine, he's fine. Finally, we had to go check up on Barry at Lake Acuity, and after trekking through 6 feet of snow for like a mile, we get there to find Barry at the top of a cliff like, ha ha ha, you can't climb rocks. Come back when you can climb rocks, loser. I'll go fight Candace's gym now, I guess. Now, we've been having some good type matchups with the past few gyms, so I haven't really been nervous about most of them, but Candace uses ice types, which like half my team is weak against. Which, you know, nervousness rising. Not only was I at a massive type disadvantage, but the main threats on our team were her Abomasnow because it hits like a truck and sets up hail, and her Frostlass because it'll use the hail from the Abomasnow to heighten its evasiveness with Snow Cloak, spam double teams, and then just sweep my team. I walked in, took a deep breath, which didn't make me feel better at all, and started the battle. Shrimp took out her Sneasel and Swoop took out her Piloswine, almost dying in the process, and then she finally brought out the big bad Abomasnow. Since it's grass ice type, I taught Puppy Fire Blast. Yeah, I didn't know we could... Anyway, I wasn't sure it could one-shot because Puppy's not a special attacker, and lo and behold, it didn't. It didn't miss. Please kill it. Please. It's quad. It's quad. What? Eventually, Puppy took it out, but that was absolutely terrifying. Last but not least, Frostlass. I wanted to have Swoop Rain Dance to get rid of the hail so Frostlass's Snow Cloak isn't activated, but since Swoop was sitting at a not-so-chill 20 HP, that wasn't gonna work out super great. However, since I didn't want Kronk to be in this fight at all, right before the fight, I swapped her with Failure the Shinx. Yep. Sorry, little guy. Failure looked up at the looming death that was Frostlass in front of her, and as I healed up Swoop, Failure was killed in its blizzard. It's really unfortunate we had to resort to it, but I give Failure a salute for stepping up and surrendering its life to the team. Swoop came out, got off the rain dance, and after a close battle, was able to pull through. We won, but it wasn't without sacrifice. We had a moment of silence for Failure, the true MVP of the fight. Gone, but not forgotten. Now we could climb the rocks to Lake Acuity, and when we got up there, Barry's got snot dripping down his face, crying in the snow because he got beat up by Jupiter, who looks at me and is like, "See ya, I'm going to Veilstone HQ." I'm gonna go to Veilstone. We start running through the base trying to find Cyrus, but when fighting this scientist... Psychic. Porygon 2 freaks me out. It is way too powerful, way too bulky, and it's way too weird. I do like Porygon 2 though. I would like a plush of Porygon 2. Very cute. What? 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 No! No! Swoop! We lost Swoop! I wasn't okay. Turt came out and curb stomped the Porygon 2 out of vengeance, but to put it lightly, I wasn't taking that too well.
My heart is breaking. I'm like actually sad.
But life doesn't stop when your dog dies, so I had to keep trucking and brought Lol the Quagsire to the team. With an intense, blood-curdling thirst for revenge, I stormed into Cyrus's room. Fight! Shrimp and Milk took out his team in no time. I snatched his Master Ball and used his teleport pad to enter the basement where Mess Spirit, Azelf, and Yuxi are all being held captive. Fight! And like Cyrus, Saturn was swept too. After releasing the Lake Guardians, we head to Mount Coronet because Cyrus wants to go there and destroy the planet, I think, and we catch up to him at the Spear Pillar. Before we can run up and attack him, Mars and Jupiter step in. Then Barry arrives. Honestly, I have no idea how he found us all here, and is like, I'll help! Lol takes out both the Bronzors, Mars's Purugly, and Barry's Munchlax, so I thought, you know, it was all smooth sailing, right? Well...
Wow, Barry. Really doing a lot for the team, aren't ya? Oh my god, no, it has Giga Drain? No. No, oh no, oh no! It was a crit!
Not only did I not know their Golbat had Giga Drain for some reason, but it also got a crit. So I was starting to feel bad, but then I started panicking. The thing is, after you fight Mars and Jupiter, you have to go into the Distortion World and fight Cyrus and Giratina. If Cynthia forces us into the Distortion World without us being able to get a new member, we're in massive trouble. We finished up the battle and Cyrus starts his whole spiel about how the world is imperfect, blah blah blah, everything must die except for me. Then he gets swallowed up by Giratina, a hole opens, a rip in space leading to the Distortion World, and I'm kinda just standing off to the side twiddling my thumbs like, Cynthia, please don't shove me in there without my consent.
Cynthia, can I go? I have something to do. Our world will be destroyed. Are you ready? No, I'm not! Let me go! I'm free! Holy crap. Get me out of here. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, Lol. We just got you, and then you died. But luckily, remember when I accidentally caught that Wooper while trying to get a Yanma? It's time, Oops. You were no accident. You're our lucky star who will carry us to victory. We got Oops leveled up, came back to the Spear Pillar where Cynthia was just sitting there waiting for us, and hopped in. Everything is topsy-turvy and the Lake Guardians are telling me to push boulders into holes. And suddenly I'm on a floating crust of land with Cynthia, who's basically like, Cyrus, get lost and never come back. And Cyrus didn't like that. So he came at me. Oops took out his Houndoom and his Gyarados came out, so I switched to Milk. But I was very terrified because Cyrus's Gyarados has Earthquake. So if Milk misses his Thunder here, he dies. And Milk is notorious for missing his Thunders. But it hit. Milk lives another day. He also took out Cyrus's Crobat and Honchkrow, and Shrimp finished up his Weavile. Cyrus steps aside, and suddenly, it's just me and the Angel of Darkness itself, Giratina. I threw the Master Ball, and like that, it was over. I saved the world. Now to get back to my gym badges. I arrived at Sunyshore City and started making my way through Volkner's gym. I know he's the 8th gym leader and he's supposed to be tough, and apparently he's depressed because everyone who challenges him isn't good enough and he's bored. But I wasn't concerned. We have Oops, and none of his Pokemon can do anything about it. It's not like they have Giga Drain or anything, right? They didn't, I checked. Oops was just Earthquake and everything, and at the end, I'll admit, I got a bit scared.
Okay, don't crit. If you crit Giga Impact, that would be really holy.
But it's all good. We're all good. And with that, off to Victory Road we went, where we caught ourselves a Gabite I named Flakes. Would have been nice to have one, I don't know, near the beginning of the game, say, in Wayward Cave, you know. But whatever. Better late than never. It's good to have just in case something goes horribly wrong out of nowhere.
Flakes is base 60. Yeah, it is. It's an amazing... Whoa, 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 whoa. No! You're kidding.
Oh dear. And that's the straw that broke the camel's back. After Puppy died, I stepped back and decided the team we go into the Elite Four with needs to be the best possible team we can build. The Elite Four here goes pretty hard, so I couldn't go in willy-nilly just hoping for the best. After literally a few hours of calculations and research, I settled on a team I thought would give us the highest possibility of winning. I added Flakes to the team in place of Puppy, and with a heavy heart, left Milk and Kronk behind as I brought C the now Magnezone and Colgate the Togekiss I hatched from the eggs Cynthia gave me. Even though I was sad to not bring Milk and Kronk into the final battles with us, they won't be forgotten. And it doesn't negate the fact they were such huge assets to the team, and I wouldn't have made it this far without them. I'll see you guys on the other side. I took a step towards the doors of no return, and immediately got interrupted by Barry, who wanted to have one last fight. Anyway... Welcome. This is the Elite Four. The battle starts and C takes out Aaron Zeon, Mega, and Vespiquen. Oops takes out his Rapion, and Colgate takes out his Scizor and Heracross. Next up is Bertha. Bertha loves ground types, but Turt and Oops had a smooth time smashing through her team. I felt a horrible shiver when her Rhyperior